Difference number one between the Pixel 6a and Pixel 6 is that the 6a is 6.1 inches where the Pixel 6 is 6.4. In the hand, this has a bigger difference than you might expect, as I find the Pixel 6a to be refreshingly small and compact without really sacrificing much in the way of viewing experience when watching content or playing games. I really like the form factor and overall feel in hand of this Pixel 6a, especially compared to this chonker, which is the Google Pixel 6. Now, the second difference between the two of them is that the Pixel 6a actually has a slightly brighter screen than the Google Pixel 6. Now, I'm not one necessarily to nitpick about really small, obscure specific specs, but this is a spec that really makes a bigger difference than I was expecting. The Pixel 6a is significantly easier for me to see and read outdoors in bright conditions. And that's why, even though it might be a small difference, it's difference number two. What's up, guys? My name is Mitchell. I'm fluent in tech, so you don't need to be. I've been using both of these devices now for a little over 2 weeks, and I gotta say, it was hard for me to make this list because the Pixel 6a is so similar to the Google Pixel 6, and whether or not it's worth the extra money is really hard for me to say. Now, difference number three between these two devices is their battery size and battery capacity. The Pixel 6a is 4,400 milliamp hours, while the Pixel 6 is 4,600 milliamp hours. Now, in the real world, the Pixel 6a definitely does get slightly better battery life than the Google Pixel 6. I was consistently getting, I wanna say between 10 and 15% better battery life with my Pixel 6a. It could have been because I was also using this on Google Fi, whereas this was being used on AT&T, but honestly, I think that the smaller screen size, the 60 Hertz, and the really small difference in battery size meant that the Pixel 6a might be the battery champion when compared to the Google Pixel 6. Now, the fourth difference between these two is the materials that they are made with. Now, the Google Pixel 6a is utilizing Gorilla Glass 3, and the Pixel 6 is using Gorilla Glass Victus. It is the newest version of the Gorilla Glass. On the back, the Pixel 6 is also utilizing that Gorilla Glass Victus, whereas the Pixel 6a is actually utilizing plastic. Now, the fifth difference between these two devices is the speed that they can charge. Now, while both of them do utilize USB-C power delivery, the Pixel 6 utilizes the PPS standard to give you 24 watts max charging speed when you have it plugged in. Unfortunately, the 6a is going to be stuck with USB-C power delivery only with a maximum of 18 watts, and there definitely is a difference in charging speed. That said, when both of these devices are around 20% charge, you definitely notice that the Pixel 6 goes from that 20 to 80% significantly faster than the 6a. I feel like the Pixel 6a is much slower to charge. Also, because of the smaller form factor, you definitely feel it get warmer faster when charging. So it could be that I was charging these in a warm climate. I would be interested to see how the Pixel 6a charges in a cooler environment where that small chassis isn't a hindrance, but this is definitely no speedy charger. Now, the sixth difference between the Pixel 6 and 6a is the cameras, or at least the main camera. Now, this Pixel 6 is utilizing the Samsung GN1, which is a physically significantly larger sensor than the classic Sony IMX363 in the Pixel 6a. That said, it's not that clear cut. The Pixel 6a utilizes an f1.7 aperture lens, where the Pixel 6 utilizes an f1.9. That extra little bit of light means that in low light, unless you're in a really dark environment, the pictures come out a lot closer than you would expect. And most of the differences that I see between these two devices in really low light come down to the slightly better dynamic range that we have with the newer sensor. But if you guys want to see a full in-depth photo and video comparison, make sure you're subscribed because I'm gonna be doing an in-depth photographer's perspective comparison review between these two devices. Now, difference number 7 between these two is price. The Pixel 6a is $150 cheaper, and to be honest with you guys, it doesn't feel like $150 less phone. The slightly brighter screen and how close the camera is really makes me not miss the 90 Hertz, and with how slim this camera hump is, for most of the photos I'm taking that are not at night, these two cameras look identical. Now, the 8th difference between these two devices is that one of them has wireless charging and the other doesn't. Now, some people are huge wireless charging fans. Personally, I like to utilize it, and the Pixel 6 is going to give you up to 23 watts, 20 watts of wireless charging if you utilize the Pixel stand. Otherwise, you're not gonna get that fast Qi wireless charging without using the first-party accessory. Unfortunately, the Pixel 6a doesn't have any wireless charging built in, and that's definitely a letdown because the plastic back would allow for that wireless charging coil to be placed and still transmit energy through it. Now, the 9th difference is a little bit more specific to the American market because the unlocked Pixel 6a has sub 6 gigahertz 5G only, although the Verizon version ships with the millimeter wave support, while the more expensive Pixel 6 supports multi-band 5G. Now, both of these devices have NFC and Wi-Fi 6, but for those of you living in America that might want to get an unlocked version of it, if you're with Verizon, you're going to want to get the model through Verizon, unfortunately. Now, the last and final difference between the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6a, the Pixel 6a is IP67, where the Pixel 6 is IP68 water resistant. And honestly, unless you're going to be submerging both of these devices, both of them are going to be totally fine in the rain. Occasional splashes, if you want to go ahead and run them under the sink to wash them off, you're going to be able to do that. Really, I don't have that much of a difference or that much of a feeling like the IP67, IP68, it's gonna make that much of a difference for most people. Although, if you live in a tropical environment like I do here in Vietnam that gets monsoons and rain seasons, the extra water protection on the Google Pixel 6 is a nice added benefit. Now, if you guys want to see more in-depth comparisons between these two devices, make sure you're subscribed with notifications. And if you want to support this video, go ahead and give it a like. It goes a long way supporting my channel. And until next time, it's been Mitchell. Peace.